Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Now, my friends call me a lark because I function best in the morning. I usually rise around 3 a.m. and I would talk to one of my friends who lives in Portland. I would call him an owl because he is still wide awake. And we will talk for about 30 minutes before he goes to bed. I will be at my peak function, the best time of the day for me. I work for about 2 hours, and by about 30 minutes before sunrise, I will head it out, as I did this morning to see this magnificent sunrise. So okay, let's get to today's video about stir-frying chicken with frozen broccoli, which is another good way to save time but still make delicious and nutritious food. The goal of my YouTube channel is to make home cooking practical, efficient, and fun. Because this is the only way to make home cooking sustainable. So I developed the FAST cooking system, and the word FAST is the acronym for flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and template-based cooking to make home cooking as part of the daily routine. And the goal is that to be able to cook a meal from scratch using all fresh ingredients in 30 minutes or less. This is entirely feasible by combining advanced prepping and stir frying to create meals that are both delicious and nutritious. I realize that in our modern lifestyle, we do not have a lot of time to cook. Therefore, I continue to make my dishes more nutritional as well as more flavorful with minimum amount of time. I normally shop about once every 7 to 10 days, and my advanced prepping is sufficient for me to cook over this time period. I do use frozen vegetables from time to time, but I do not like their texture because I could not control them in the same way when I cook with fresh ingredients. However, I do use frozen vegetables when I am in a pinch. I think nutritionally they're almost on par with the fresh, unfrozen ingredients. When my friend Martha recently called me and asked me whether she could stir fry with frozen broccoli, I became interested. Martha is in her early 80s and she adopted my fast cooking system about a year ago. Martha told me that she lived by herself and she loves broccoli, but she only have broccoli once in a great while, so it is no point for her to buy a lot of fresh broccoli. So I look into how to stir fry frozen broccoli, and this is what I have found out. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how I make a chicken and broccoli dish several nights ago for dinner using frozen broccoli. With some minor modifications, the dish turned out not bad at all. Okay, let's go into the kitchen and I'll show you how I cook this dish. For this dish, I used about 5 cups of frozen broccoli, which is equivalent to 1 bag that I purchased from Aldi. I'm going to take the broccoli directly from the freezer to the wok, and I discovered it is important not to thaw them out in advance. For the chicken, I'm going to coat it with a thin layer of cornstarch with seasonings that I use from my masala dabba. I kept 7 of my most frequently used seasoning agents in my masala dabba, which is very convenient because once I open the masala dabba, they will be available to me all at once. To season the chicken, I use 1 teaspoon of mushroom seasoning, half teaspoon of lemon pepper, half teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of ginger powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of paprika. I mix in the cornstarch and the seasoning agents with the chicken, use a pair of chopsticks, which is probably the most efficient way to perform this task. I start with 2 tablespoons of canola oil in my Cuisinart 14-inch stainless steel wok. I heat up the oil until it starts to smoke gently, and then I turn down the heat and I let the oil to smoke for another 15 seconds, and this is the time when the wok is being seasoned. I turn the heat back to high before I add the chicken, and I call this method the spot seasoning method. For a dish like this, I normally cook 8 ounces of chicken. But for this dish, I'm going to cook 1 pound of chicken because I'm cooking this dish for a friend of mine. He loves chicken. With advanced prepping, these chickens are already sliced and ready to go. And I took it out from the freezer and put it in a bowl of warm water for them to be thawed out in about 10 minutes. I'm using a pair of tongs. I try to spread out the chicken as much as possible on the flat surface area of this wok. This wok has a flat surface area about 9 inches across, about the size of a small frying pan, which is great for using it in shallow frying. The shallow frying technique is similar to deep frying, with the difference is that you fry the food ingredients on one side first and then you turn it over to fry the other side. This will cause the browning of the food ingredients and create a light breading. This will make the chicken more flavorful. At the same time, it will keep the chicken moist and tender inside. Normally, when I use 8 ounces of chicken, the flat surface area of this wok is just about large enough for me to lay out all the chickens in a single layer. But this is not possible when I have 1 pound of chicken. However, so far it is doing a pretty good job. What I need to do is to move the chicken pieces more often using my pair of tongs. This method gives the chicken a grilled-like appearance as well as texture. Next step, now I'm ready to add the broccoli to the wok. I add the broccoli directly from the freezer to the wok without thawing them out. I discovered this is the best approach to maintain the texture of the broccoli. As I am cooking them in the wok, I am thawing them out at the same time, and this will give me much better control of the texture. I also add the broccoli to the chicken when they are almost 80 to 90% done. This will allow me not to overcook the broccoli or the chicken. Next, I add a frozen vegetable mix that contains frozen edamame, frozen corn, frozen green bean, and frozen carrot. This will provide more vegetable to this dish and hence will enhance the consumption of vegetables. Now I switch to the wok spatula and to stir fry all the contents together. I also use a water squeeze bottle to deposit a small amount of water in the area where food ingredients has burned to the surface of the wok. This burnt material has great flavor, and this will allow me to return the flavor back to the dish. At the same time, I am cleaning the wok as I cook, and I call this method spot cleaning because I'm cleaning right on the spot. This makes cleaning the wok much easier after you're done cooking. And next, I'm going to season the dish with a combination of 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce with 1 tablespoon of hoisin sauce. This is a relatively mild seasoning strategy, and it provides great umami flavor for the dish. I change up with my seasoning strategy depending on what I feel like at the time. Quite often I will add extra seasoning agents such as sesame oil, or I will add a fried chili in oil sauce as well. And occasionally I will skip any additional seasoning because I have already seasoned the chicken in the beginning before I cook them. After another quick taste test and a few quick mix, this dish is ready to be served, and the total cook time is a little bit over 6 minutes. So what is the verdict for frozen broccoli? Actually, the taste of the broccoli is not bad at all, except the texture of the broccoli is a bit softer than how I would like them. Unfortunately, this is unescapable anytime when you are dealing with frozen vegetables. The only frozen vegetable that I have tasted so far that maintain its original texture is frozen edamame, which I have also included in this dish. My conclusion is that if you cannot get access to fresh broccoli, then this frozen broccoli definitely make a good substitution. After I cook this dish, I give Martha a call and I tell her I will make a video to demonstrate how I cook a chicken with frozen broccoli. A couple of days later, Martha called me back and she said she tried it and she was happy with it. She is going to stock her freezer with several bags of frozen broccoli, so she will have them anytime she wants. This video provides a good demonstration of the aim of my fast cooking system, which is to make home cooking as flexible as possible. And by using template-based cooking, you can make substitutions to create dishes that you are already familiar with. This is a good example of using the basic template that you make a substitution of fresh broccoli with frozen broccoli. I post a video each day to demonstrate my fast cooking system so that you can make home cooking as part of your daily routine to cook the food that you love and enjoy. If you would like to learn more about my fast cooking system, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.